I'm Deen Castronovo. I play drums in Revolution Saints.
Hey, I'm Doug Aldrich, and you might know me from Whitesnake and Burning Rain.
Well, I'm Jack Blades, and I got a phone call from my buddy Serafino, who runs Frontier Records. He said, you need to play with Deen Castronovo. And I said, Deen Castronovo? I think that name sounds familiar. I think I know who that is. Look, I've known Deen for 25 years.
Boy, how this got together. We were on the road with Journey and get a message from John Barrick, Journey's manager, through Serafino from Frontiers Records, asking to lead sing on a project.
For me, it's really unique because it's a little bit stylistically a little different than what I'm known for. So I really enjoyed working on it. It's very melodic, very catchy tunes, heavy riffs.
Well, you know, we have Deen playing drums and singing, which is great. It's always fun working with musicians that you've known for years and years and years. You know, it's kind of like, you know, instant camaraderie. You know, there isn't this sort of like that like, I got to get to know the guy and see how it kind of flows and stuff like that. I mean, Deen's played records for me. I've produced records where he's played drums, and so it's worked out really well.
So I went on the road. I've been out on the road with Journey for close to 6 months. We started in April, and we just finished 3 days ago. So I had a day off, and then we came into the studio, and Alessandro was here, and we laid down, I was able to lay down 3 lead vocal tracks in 2 hours. So voice is real strong now, but I'm really excited about the record. It's going to be awesome.
For people who love melodic rock and radio hits and stuff like, you know, in a lot of ways what I've done with Whitesnake, but even maybe a little more melodic and a little bit less bluesy. So it was something I'd never really done before. It had similarities, but it was unique in itself.
Having Doug Aldrich, I've always admired his guitar playing. I've always thought he's a real great guitarist, just great solo player, just a great look, great guitarist, great everything. You know, Doug's a good guy, and I'd never really played with him before. We've done shows with Whitesnake. Night Ranger has done shows with Whitesnake before, so I never really had played like a musician to musician with him. So this is sort of like, I enjoy at this stage of the game being with different people, playing with different people, because I want to hear different ideas. You know, I want to hear different things. Like, I'll look at something and I'll look at it and it'll look this way to me, and someone else will come in with a total different sort of like, you know, a spin on the whole thing.
Of course, I've been a fan of both Jack and Deen's playing, and I've known Deen a little bit more because with Whitesnake we did a lot of shows together with Journey over the years. So we got to be friends, and last year we did a big European tour together. So Deen and I started hanging out a little bit, and we actually had tattoo guys come to our room, and it was just like, you know, we kind of bonded, hanging out, getting tattoos, drinking coffee, and Jack, I'd never really, I met him last year for the first time. We have a lot of mutual friends, and I've been a big fan of his bass playing and vocals. So I got a call that, you know, that Deen was going to be putting together something where he was going to sing, and I thought that was a great idea. He's, as you'll hear in the stuff, he's just got an amazing voice. Same like Jack. And when I heard Jack was involved, and it was going to be kind of a really cool power trio type of vibe, I thought this is really great, you know. And so we all got together and put our parts down, and it's been awesome.
Doug, boy, has been the guitarist for Whitesnake for close to 12 years. I knew him in a band called Lion years ago. Monster guitarist, always was a fantastic player, but we never really got a chance, you know, to play together. And we ended up meeting in Sheffield because we were on the road. It was Whitesnake and Journey. And we had a tattoo day, and I said, dude, come out and let's all get tattoos. So we brought him out. He got a tattoo of his son on his arm, and I had this done, which I'll probably have to take off. Maybe we're talking about. But that's how I got to know Doug. Just watching him play every night, I was like, that kid is just ridiculous. And then Jack, I've known Jack honestly since give me a second, since 1984. Their lighting director, Night Ranger's lighting director, was a manager in a band I was in called the Wild Dogs, a very heavy metal band. And Jack came in a couple times to listen and just loved the stuff. And we were close ever since. We've been close ever since, done tours together and stuff. It's been great.
I really enjoyed it. Used a lot of different guitars on the stuff. That's what I love to do anyways, collect guitars and record. And so the record turned out great. And I think everybody shines on it with what they're doing. And I didn't really know how it was going to gel, but it really did. It came together. You'll hear it in the songs, and when we play together, it really has like I had said earlier, a unique sound.
Well, Revolution Saints to me, it's 80s vibe rock with nuts. I mean, you got some great players in here, and it's not just, that straight ahead thing. Tons of melody, huge hooks, and then you got, amazing musicians, and then again, Alessandro as a producer, it's like, we can't go wrong. So, and it's a lot of fun. I'm having fun. I haven't had fun for a while. I've been working. You work. It's one thing to work. It's another thing to come in and enjoy what you're doing and know you can wake up in the morning and not go, oh God, I have a show to do. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling.
Well, this album is it's kind of different for me because usually I write all the songs or I co-write all the songs that are on the records that I play, and just coming in here with the music, I wrote lyrics on one of the songs, but having it pretty much like I'm not involved with the writing and everything like that I was kind of wondering about that, like how that would be. The producer that we have, Alessandro Del Vecchio, he actually encourages us to be, to do what we want and be who we are. And frankly, I've been producing so much myself and everything like that. It's kind of fun to just sit back and go, hey man, that's your job now. You get to do this. You get to do all that nuts and bolts stuff. Because I've been like co-producing or producing all the Night Ranger stuff and all, Ted Nugent and this person and that person, Great White, all these things. And so it's kind of fun to sit back and just do that. And what's nice about Ali is he welcomes our input. And I think with a band like this, you have to welcome input. I don't think anybody can be a super hard ass on this kind of thing because we all have input. Because we've all played, Doug and Deen and I have played for so many years that, believe me, we have input. So I think Ali's really cool, and he goes, yeah, let me hear it. So that's kind of great.
What it was basically was Alessandro's vision. He had written all the songs, lyrics, did all the musicianship on the demos, and everybody got a copy of it, and I listened to it, and it was like, yeah, this could be cool. This will be very cool. And then they started bringing in all the guys. And then once I did my drum tracks, the files were sent to Jack. He did his bass tracks over my drum tracks, and then Doug finished up the guitar stuff. And I know Alessandro's got a lot of his keyboard stuff that he's kept in there and some of the backgrounds and stuff. But now we're in vocal mode.
To put your own style into something is kind of an intangible thing that's hard to really describe. It kind of comes from your fingers and your heart. And but there's little things that maybe the way that a song comes to you, it might be it might have a repetitive riff that gets the point across. But then as you listen to the song more and more and you start to play it more and more, you start to realize it would actually be nice to alternate. Maybe do this riff on the first and third times and then change it and do something slightly different on the other side. And I was also, what I wanted to do was, because it was very melodic and I'm kind of known for being a heavier guitar player, I kind of naturally made it a little heavier.
I think that the three of us, Doug, Deen, and I, are very much the kind of guys that are like, okay, what does this song need? Not like, this is what I do, and I'm going to do what I do, everybody else can just go fuck off. You know what I mean? It's like, no, this is what, what does this song need? You know what I mean? And that's kind of how we approach the approach the playing on this record. I mean, to be able to have Deen just stretch out on his drums and do whatever doing a lot of stuff that maybe, that he'd take it to a different, he'd put it on 10 where normally on other records he wouldn't go that far. But this one he really wanted to go for it, so he had some great stuff. And in that respect, I could do the same thing. I could go along with his parts where he went pretty wild on some stuff, and I could go wild on some stuff and give him the space yet go at the same time. And Doug had that same sort of, everybody has that feel of like, everybody's been doing this for so long that like we know how not to step on each other, and yet we know how to step out. So it's like, don't step, but step. You know what I mean? Don't step on each other, now step out, And we both have that, all three of us have that, that sixth sense, I guess, from being musicians for so many years. And that makes it for a very sort of fun thing.
Back on the Trail, that was the first one we tried vocally. The song itself is it's a very positive song. How you're going through adversity and you got some stuff and you're dealing with your stuff, but you get up and you move on. I was listening to it this morning, like, yeah, this is awesome.
Immediately when I heard the demo, I thought, wow, reminds me a little bit of a band I used to be in called Lion. But then it also had a flair of the melodicness of bands like Journey too. I kind of approached it from this place of melodic, like what I used to do with Lion, and then trying to put my spin on it, my flavor on it, so that it would take it into a kind of a new area.
Deen kind of went crazy on the drums with it, and I'm like, this is great, okay, so I'll tell you what, you gave me the green light, bro, I'm gonna take it too. And so I took it too and did a lot of good, like wild stuff on the bass and everything like that, and then Doug is like, okay, you guys did that, I'll take it too.
Turn Back Time, that's another one. The lyric content is great on that. The song is catchy as hell, hooky as hell. Doug's guitar on that stuff is incredible. It's a duet with Jack and I, and of course Jack Blades is Jack Blades. He's an amazing lead singer, an amazing frontman, and I can learn a lot from him.
On the Tuesday, too many times I built up these walls.
Turn Back Time is a really simple rock riff, just right straight to the core, right to the heart. And you'll hear, there's some amazing drumming, and it had room for me to put my own style on it, my own spin, and once again, it had kind of like what is an extra long solo, so I could really have the solo. I could design it to where it kind of had some burning parts, but then as the music changed, I would change into a melodic sense.
There's been so many tears and heartaches through the years. Just hold on to me now, and we'll make it through somehow.
So I just like sat down one morning and just like, with a cup of coffee up at my place and just wrote these lyrics, and it felt like something that I could sink my teeth into it, And this stage of the game in my life, I'm pretty an upbeat guy, and I want Deen to be upbeat. I want it to be really legitimate and everything like that. So it was nice to be able to write the lyrics and kind of make it into sort of like, my own thing that I could feel like I could really just dig into, especially with splitting the lead vocals with Dino.
I do remember as I look into your eyes, with faith and hope and love, we will survive.
Way to the Sun, a great motivational song. Neil Sean's going to be doing a solo on this, and I believe he'll be doing it down in San Francisco. We'll take the files to him and have him pull up something pretty evil, because Neil's an amazing guitarist.
It's kind of felt like it was a bit reminiscent of one of the songs I did with the damn Yankees. 20 years ago. So I just jumped in. We threw around some harmonies on it, put some good stuff on it. It's kind of a good song for Deen, man. It really showcases his voice.
You're Not Alone. That song is a song that Arnel Pineda from Journey, our lead singer, is singing on.
I'll be the one to hold you well.
We have an amazing vocalist in Arnel, and he's given us the opportunity to sing on. The guy's just brilliant. Well, for me, lead singing is not my forte. I do a couple songs in Journey, but it's really not what I do. So it's daunting. And I remember sending an email to Alessandro saying, hey, you're gonna have to walk me through this because I've never done this before. It's one thing to come out and just sing. It's another thing to realize the character in that song and bring that character out through your vocals. And I've never done that. I usually just go up and sing my Journey stuff and move on, but this is a different animal. And yeah, it's there's a lot more pressure, yeah. You got great players on this, you got a great producer, singer on this, and you want to make everyone proud. And Alessandro sent me a couple of the songs, just roughs of what we did yesterday, and it was really cool. I was really happy. A lot of pressure was eased then. I was like, okay, I know kind of where I'm going to be sitting in this, and I'll be able to do this okay.
Well, the chemistry I have with Deen just goes back just so many years. I mean, he and I have been, like I said, pals forever and ever and ever. And I've had him in playing drums at my studio and on different projects and everything like that. To be able to sing a duet with him, I mean, man, he hasn't really sang on a record. I mean, he's done some background harmonies and stuff on Journey records and other records like that, but I don't think he's ever sang these leads like he's doing in this thing. And so to do a duet, to kind of have a throw back and forth, I mean, I'm hearing this pure voice and I'm like, oh boy, I better throw down a little bit. So I had to throw down a little bit, and then he heard it, and I think it kind of pushed him, and then he pushed me, and it kind of a back and forth thing. I've sang with my bands before, with the damn Yankees, with Tommy Shaw and myself, and with Kelly Keggy with Night Ranger. I mean, I'm used to singing a lot with somebody else in the band, so this is sort of a natural feeling for me. But to do a duet back and forth, I love it, man.
I think for me, Doug's playing with this kind of music is, I mean, he's got this stuff down, and the fire that he plays with, I mean, it comes out on the solos. When you hear it, he is blazing some wicked stuff. And that was another Alessandro and Serafino call. It's like, let's get him. And I was all for that instantly. That's a great idea. And then, again, it was Alessandro and Serafino saying, what about Jack Blades? They had a couple other ideas, but when I heard Jack, I was like, that's even better. There's another, lead singer, he's got a lot of experience in the business and in production and stuff like that. And it's a big shot in the arm. I mean, and as a bass player too. I mean, come on, the guy's the king. This is the best musicians I've ever worked with, really, besides the Journey guys. These guys are the best. It's a fun record. It's not safe. It is a musician's record. I mean, you got, 5 guys now on this record that are, stellar musicians.
Hanging out with these guys is awesome. These guys, we all come from other bands, and we're known for a certain thing. But hanging out as just friends is great. This is a situation where everybody's in other bands. I've got my Burning Rain band that is something that I hold close to my heart.
Hey, who knows where this thing's going to go, man? I mean, it was an idea. It was like this idea that came out of the brain of Frontiers Records. You know what I mean? And who knows where it's going to go? I mean, Deen and I have been friends, and we're going to be friends forever. And having Doug around and stuff like that, shit, man, who knows where it's going to go?
With this record, I was told by Alessandro and Jack, just be you. Be the drummer you are. If you're going to play some busy stuff, play some busy stuff. But be you, don't play it safe. And that's the great thing about the band. Nobody really played it safe on this. It had enough freedom and it had enough air in it to where we could bring each one of our styles into this.